I went into Plunge mostly expecting the biblical knowledge. That's initially why I'd taken the gap year, thinking that's how I'd grow in theology and head knowledge. But I think what was essential about Plunge was it was so much more for me.
I think that going into Plunge, I felt I knew a fair bit about the Bible from youth group and from, just church and sort of personal study. But it's a bit humbling when you actually get there and you realise how much more there is to know.
The learning aspect of Plunge really helped me to grasp the big picture of the Bible in a way that before had still seemed kind of fragmented. And it kind of helped connect all those pieces that I already had together and helped me to see the big picture of God's kingdom and how that story then is still unfolding.
I think what was really helpful about it was a whole bunch of us from different ages and from different backgrounds and churches. Learning an environment like that where you have so much diversity was really helpful in learning how to love others even in disagreements, but also learning how to sometimes be humble enough to be open to different ideas.
Yeah, I really think the integration of learning and experience and just the way the two are partnered together, you grow in your understanding of the Bible and of yourself, and at the same time you're out there in the world and you're getting these experiences that you just never thought you'd have.
Before Plunge, I didn't really exercise self-reflection much. So when things would happen, I wouldn't take the time to reflect well on that and to think through, okay, is this Christ-like? Is this something I should embrace, or is this a character I should put behind? So Plunge really taught me how to reflect well on my experiences.
So I went into Plunge kind of wanting to know, I guess, what my call was, and that was like a constant challenge throughout because everything that we went to grabbed my attention, and we'd visit Hope Street and I'd want to work at Hope Street, or we'd go to Auburn and I'd want to move to Auburn. I'm still working out what that is, but I think the amazing thing about Plunge was that it was the thing that opened me up to all those things in the first place, and that awakened my just awareness to God's call to those places that I didn't know existed before.
I think you have to go into Plunge with a little bit of humility, being prepared to be outside your comfort zone a lot, and certainly with the community engagement days, that was a pretty uncomfortable time, and you sort of got used to it by the end of the year. It was kind of, okay, what are we doing this week? And you'd be thrown into some crazy new experience, but you're just ready for it.
So some of the skills I learnt from community engagement days were seeing where God is at work, so developing a kind of lens for looking at things, which is asking where is Jesus in this context and how is he working, and how can I be a part of that, or what am I going to do in response to that?
I think what touched me most was the homelessness situation. What made Plunge so unique was that not only were we learning, in our New Testament classes how we ought to love the homeless, we were pushed into learning what it actually is like to be homeless. And one night we slept over there in the middle of the city so that we can have that understanding and sort of that empathy and compassion.
You're growing a lot yourself, but you're doing that with the support of other people who become really close friends. I don't think I've ever experienced a community like it, and probably won't ever experience a community elsewhere that's the same to it as well, because it's such a unique time of growing together.
I learnt that God can use me because I took the plunge.
I'm more passionate about the kingdom because I took the plunge.
I learned the value of people's stories and their lives, and how that can be used as a tool to love and show grace to people because I did plunge.